This is episode 554 on the 8th of August 2022. The Asian Champions Trophy, the Asian Champions Trophy is 2 weeks from Saturday. And what does it mean as far as the preparation for the World T20 Championship is concerned? Well, this is the closest tournament the teams will get to prepare in that format as far as a world tournament is concerned, or in this case, a regional tournament is concerned. And also, the rumors that the team selected for this tournament and the team selected for the World Cup is going to be the same, which means there will be rejections, there will be heartbreaks. Those who don't get selected will say, what have we not done to get selected? Those who get selected, well, the pseudo experts will once again question their presence, even if they have done enough to be in the team, especially surrounding a few individuals who have not been playing for the past couple of weeks because of whatever reasons. So those who are selected, well, they will be very happy. They have been selected for a world tournament. Those who miss out, it won't be because they don't have the merit or they haven't contributed in whatever manner you need to contribute. It will be just a case of selection, rejection, and whatever the vanilla thoughts are in the useless selection committee's mind. Because I have seen many selection committees who can keep saying, don't select this person's future in the team is not good enough. We already have enough young individuals. Don't select a couple of 34, 35-year-olds. Give a couple of 25-year-olds a chance, a 20-year-old a chance, or give this guy a chance. He's not a leg spinner, he's not an off spinner. These mundane discussions will become an important part, because the team for the Asian Champions Trophy will be selected tonight, and whoever is selected tonight will say that, okay, I'm secured for the World Cup unless they don't perform. But that's the interesting thing. The first match that India plays is against its neighbors. They do that in the hockey schedule. They've done that in the hockey schedule. They won't do that in cricket. This is to attract crowds, and this is the closest you can come to having the preparation. And for India, whether it's an Asian Champions Trophy or a World Trophy, after whatever happened last year, whatever errors were made last year, they would want to rectify that. They have done that. Questions have been asked, why so many captains being selected for the... Why do we have so many captains? Why do we have so many issues as far as the opening part is concerned? Let me make that clear. It doesn't matter who opens. I would even ask someone like a Bumrah to open if that's the situation. I don't think it makes a difference. But this is the schedule, which means 2 weeks from this Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, a very interesting match takes place. But this is not the first time Asian Champions Trophy or an Asia Cup has happened right before the World Cup. It happened in 2016, where the Asia Cup or the Asian Champions Trophy happened right before the World Cup, and then whatever happened in that tournament affected the World Tournament. India went on to win the Asian Champions Trophy or the Asia Cup, as one likes to call it. And then, of course, in the 2016 World Cup, we all know what happened. Let's not get into that as far as discussion is concerned. Who should be in the team, who should not be in the team. It will become a simple case of what the vanilla selectors want. Will they be under pressure by the team management? Will they be under pressure by what the pseudo experts and the morons write in the newspapers? He should be there, he should not be there. Will they be under pressure nevertheless by the governing body itself that select him or don't select him? You can only go with 18 players. Who will be the lucky 18 players selected for this tournament? which is as close as it gets to being selected for the World Cup. Of course, there are few bilateral series, but this tournament is the closest you would ever come to as far as that kind of format is concerned. So it does become an important tournament, but let me remind you, it is not for the first time that this tournament is being conducted, and it won't be for the last time. You may see this tournament being conducted again. This is a 20-over tournament. Next year it will become a 50-over tournament. So they have tried to be flexible, given chances to the team that okay, let's go with what the World Cup demands, and then, as always, that's the way things work. This tournament was to be hosted in Sri Lanka, but due to certain reasons, the tournament was shifted to Dubai, and I think Dubai, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, whatever, they are the best places to conduct the tournament, because apart from the timings, everything is perfect as far as that location is concerned. It hardly rains in Dubai. The grounds are big and neutral crowds, and that's the way things should be. But let's move on and talk about something very, very interesting. This is how the 20-over World Tournament stands. There is no home supremacy, there is no continuity as far as any team winning is concerned. Yes, West Indies have gone on to win twice, but they've also had luck on their side. If you look at the teams who have won, they were runners-up in the past. So India won in 2007. Our neighboring country was runner-up in the past. That neighboring country wins in 2009. The other neighboring country was a runner-up. 2010, England and Australia were in the semi-finals, and in 2009, 2010, 2012, India were knocked out in the group stage, and nobody even saw that. 2012 controversial knockout, I can say that, but India were knocked out in the group stage. So why are we so sensitive about being knocked out in last year's group stage? The thing is that when we were knocked out in last year's group stage, it was not the knockout, it was whom we lost to, the first match that we played against. I think that emotion got everybody by surprise. That was more of a shocker than being knocked out in the group stage, because it happens. You are knocked out in the group stage, it happens. India came close to winning in 2014 before Sri Lanka had a bit of luck, and then in 2016 we went to the semi-finals, but West Indies had something going that year, so India reached the semi-final. Last year I would say it was a controversial tournament, poorly scheduled tournament, and that's the way things are. So there is no home supremacy, and there is no consistency as far as scheduling a 20-over World Cup is concerned. Look at this: 7, then 9, then 10, then 12, then 14, then 16. Then suddenly a long break. It was supposed to be scheduled for 20, then 21, then this year 22. So there is no consistent manner in which this tournament is scheduled. And therefore, why are we so excited about this tournament? I don't know. I would rather be excited about the 50-over tournament. Whoever wants to say scrap the 50-over tournament, reduce the number of overs, its relevance, well, those individuals who say this are not relevant. Let me tell you that whoever is saying this is not relevant at all. But let's move on to something different. Let's talk about the greed for gold, the greed for a medal, and how you get all the appreciation when you come close to winning a medal or eventually win a medal. The Commonwealth Games men and women's semi-finals and finals, and what the past couple of days it has been. Let's discuss each of those matches one by one. Let's discuss the cricket semi-finals and final which happened over the weekend. So India made it to the women's cricket semi-final and won the match by 4 runs after scoring 165. A close game, a game in which both the teams had the foot on the accelerator, but a decent over bowled, and India went on to win by 4 runs and were in quest for a gold or a silver medal. And then what happens in the finals? Well, Australia is one of those two teams, the women's team especially, whose luck in the semi-final has continued over a period of time, and they did exactly that. They got a chance to bat first, they scored 160, and then India were bowled out for 152, and Australia went on to secure the gold. And of course, this is the third time India have had their close calls in a final, and I think I will discuss this over this week, but I'll just say that there were a lot of errors made by the team. The opening combination did not work, so one of the openers has to play more maturely. That person came on the back of being a power hitter, an aggressive batter, but they have to use that in a more mature manner. And then the middle order, I think the middle order needs to learn how Australia goes about things. So I think they will learn from it. And then the next 20 over World Cup is scheduled for probably next year. So I hope in the next 12 months they get as many matches as possible. They play against good teams, against all teams, and especially when chasing around 160, they have to be more mature. Can't rely on one or two batters. Everyone has to contribute, and I think runouts, nerves, and then Australia is Australia. Australia showed they can win from 49 for 5, so they can defend 160 without any issues. Eventually, Australia got the gold, India got the silver, and the greed for the medal continued. It's not just about winning. Now everyone will say this is the best Australian team. They've won every possible tournament. They've won the Commonwealth tournament. They've won all the format tournaments. So they are the best. Of course, if you win, you get the gold, you are the best. But is that relative? That only if you win that you are the best, or you are the best if you win? Well, that's a debate that doesn't end. So the question becomes, will the men's team, Australian men's team, become the first team to win consecutive World Cups? It has not happened before. It has happened that, as you see this schedule, it has happened after one tournament break. But can Australia become the second team to win 2 World Cups? Because Sri Lanka, India, Australia are neighbors to the west. They'll be looking to become one of the teams to win a second tournament. And of course, we want India to win. But we talk about the men's tournament at a later stage. Let's continue talking about the Commonwealth Games semi-final and final, because it's important in the sense that this is the closest you will come to even coming close to having a shot at the title. And then let's look at the hockey semi-finals and finals. The women's game was full of controversy. The full time ended at 1-1, and Australia went on to win the penalty stroke or the penalty shootout 3-0. And then there was a controversial moment when the timer did not start and the referee had to restart the shootout, which of course led to some words exchanged between the coach and the referee and everything. And after that, the Indian women's team could not cope up with the pressure. And once again, who was the bugbear? Which team beat India eventually? Australia. So when it comes to hockey and cricket, you by default say Australian women are the top teams in hockey and cricket. Don't be surprised if the Australian women go on to win the gold. The cricket division has done it. The hockey division will do it very soon. And then can the men's team do something special? They beat South Africa 3-2 in the semi-finals. That was the closest they came. But then, as everyone says, even before the match between India and Australia begins this evening, tonight, everyone will say Australia's chances have increased. Australia's chances of winning that gold have increased. Will Australia be able to pile the pressure on? You don't even have to say it. Everyone knows, yes, they will be able to pile the pressure on. That's the way things work in this particular business. So before even the finals of the India-Australia hockey tournament starts tonight, everyone will say that 80% chance is Australia. At best, India can take it to the shootout, but India winning a gold, well, in front of Australia looks impossible, and Australia not being in the final of such tournaments, well, that doesn't happen. That has to happen. So that's the most important part. So what will happen in the India-Australia final? Well, if I say that India can win, everyone will say, are you kidding me? Are you joking? How can you say that Australia will win, will not win? How can you say that India will win? We have already formed this in our minds. Of course, there's evidence to prove that Australia have done well in the past. Just like the women's division, they have shown that nothing intimidates them. They have a plan, they come with a plan. Like the women's team, they're all powerful, muscular individuals in front of relatively semi-muscular Indian athletes, and Australia has won gold in every discipline: boxing, hockey, cricket, and whatever other sports are there in this tournament, whether it's cycling, swimming, and other disciplines. But this is more important. What will happen? We'll discuss this on the next episode, but I would say it will be a close game. Of course, there will be pressure, the pressure of playing Australia, the pressure of not conceding goals. Australia has always been known to sneak a goal, and that's the way things work. So it's not, it will be more about the mind games that will be faced by the team, more of the mind games and less of the techniques, because as far as technique is concerned, it doesn't matter. You can come close, you can concede penalty corners, and the only thing that will be discussed by the pseudo experts is don't let Australia concede, don't give Australia penalty corners early in the match. If you do that, they will convert, or they will surely take advantage if India are to be reduced to 10 individuals if there is a card, because expect some heated exchanges. So let's hope that the heat on the ground doesn't affect the teams and there are no heated exchanges. The referee doesn't have to hand out cards because that affects both teams. So I think it's going to be a 50-50 game, but most individuals would give 80-85% to Australia. I won't argue with them because there's no point arguing with such negative individuals. So there is evidence to prove that Australia has given India a bad name when it comes to such knockouts. A silver will be good, but we are greedy. We are greedy for gold, not just in sport, outside sport also. If you have gold, if you have assortment made of gold, it shows who you are, what you are. We are obsessed with gold as a metal, though it's the most useless metal. I don't even know why are we obsessed with gold. It doesn't impress me. Of course, such tournaments, medals are to make individuals happy. She wins gold, he wins gold. Of course, the greed for gold is there and the greed for gold will continue. Talking about the greed, the India-West Indies T20 Cup surely brought out a few surprises. I won't go into those details because that has been discussed enough by pseudo experts. But if you look at the two games, the last two games, they were very similar. India made over 180 in both the games and won by big margins. Of course, in yesterday's game, they came up with changes. There was no Rohit, no Pant, no Suryakumar Yadav, and no one more individual, Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Whoever was selected did well. And when I heard the pseudo experts say that, it really got me a little annoyed. Who are these pseudo experts to comment on whether the team wants to make changes? And there's a discussion on who should open, who should not open, who are the best 11, and what their contributions are. I don't think it makes a difference. And does this 4-1 defeat make West Indies a weak team? No. Yes, tactically they didn't get their cards right, but it doesn't mean that they're a weak team. As I said, for a 20-over tournament which finishes in 3 hours, if the teams are disciplined enough, it really doesn't matter. You can be 140 for 1 in 15 overs, and you can be 170 all out in the next 5 overs. You can be 48 for 3 and you can still go on to win the match. So you cannot predict, it's unpredictable. So I cannot predict who will win this year's World Cup. Australia may have done it last year. You may have a surprise because teams like Bangladesh and Afghanistan are also itching to win their first world tournament. But to say that Bangladesh and Afghanistan can come close, well, everyone will surely be laughing in their sleep or in their graves. I don't know, I can't predict. The 2 games were good. West Indies may have got their tactics wrong, but it doesn't mean that they are not prepared. They're a weak team. I don't think so. Are they a confused team? Well, that depends on what is a confused team. You can only play 11 players. There are no rolling substitutes. There's a lot of rigidity. You can talk about aggressive brand of cricket. It really doesn't matter. You can be all aggressive, but you have to be smart about the aggressiveness. And that's the way things should be. As far as India's preparation is concerned, they are doing well. Who will be the final 11 selected, final 17, 18 selected? I don't know. What do the vanilla selectors have in mind? I don't know. I can't predict. I've already made my team. I missed out a few individuals, but I've already said that these are my 40-45 individuals who should be there all around. But who will be the final 18? Which players will be rejected, and rejected not because they don't have the talent. It's just a question of not having too many cooks spoil one position. Who will bat at number 3? Who will open? Who will bat at number 4? Who will be the final keeper? Who will finish the innings? Such mundane and vanilla questions will continue to hog the limelight till the final 18 is selected for first the Asian Champions Trophy, which will be selected this evening, and finally somewhere in mid-September, that is next month, there will be a deadline to send the teams. So maybe by 1st October they have to send the teams, keeping standbys and injuries and other things. So next few months, so in exactly 2 months the tournament starts. In fact, make it 70 days. The tournament starts in exactly 70 days. So anything is possible in these 70 days. Injuries can happen, but you already have individuals who have performed at that level. So I don't know who will be the final 18. What do the vanilla selectors have in mind? I don't know. But whoever they have in mind, we have to go with it. Whether the pseudo experts like it or not, it doesn't matter. Whether I like the team selected or not only matters. Those pseudo experts, they themselves are rejects. So rejects cannot comment about rejects or selects, because that's the paradox. You cannot have former players, former rejected players turned experts earning close to nothing. I don't care, that's not important. So rejects cannot talk about the team. Rejects cannot say he should be in the team. What's his value to the team? When they didn't have any value, even as a pseudo expert, their values no one wants to listen to, because they get too technical and too jargon and too philosophical about a simple game. And I don't know what the selectors have in mind. But whether I like the team or not is more important than whether the rejects masquerading as pseudo experts like the team or not. That's not important. So this ends episode number 554. Stay tuned for the next episode 555 on the 10th of August 2022.